4, 3, 2, 1, recording. So, daily update. The job. It was okay. I made a mistake. The mistake that I made was that the person that was quote unquote training me, and it was actually kind of fun. The work was fun. Um, I took her as a manager, right? She's not, but I treated her as one. But I made a mistake because y'all know I have some issues with food. And so I was asking about, do you get a free meal, this, that, and the other. And I was asking her those things and telling her my situation in confidence. And it was a mistake because she was not mature enough to handle that. She was mature enough to handle that. It caused her angst and, so forth and so on. Then I did speak to the manager, and the hiring process there is kind of weird. And so it was like you have to get approved by somebody that's senior that works there. Once you get approved by that senior person that works there, they push you on, and if they vouch for you, you'll work a day and see how it works, right? Um, I don't know what to say. I was disappointed by how things ended, but the bottom line to it is I realized that I only need to speak to my manager about the manager, the store manager, about personal things. The other person I don't think is mature enough to deal with that, and it's going to cause a problem. So, but and I also need to make sure I have a way to connect with that manager directly. But anyhow, with all that, I did get some free chicken, so hey, there you go. Um, with the business portion of it, I'm a little bit frustrated. Not frustrated, but I think this is what's intended, and I have to be mindful of it. Um, I did run into my young friend this morning. Shoot, I forgot I left the air conditioner on inside. I did talk to my young friend this morning. I bumped into him by mistake on my way to the thing, and he's like the only breath of sunshine, like in my life. Um, I, he was asking me what did I have to ask him about, and I told him briefly, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I'll be there." And that's really great. And then I talked to a bunch of other people. This is the event I'm talking about. I talked to a bunch of other people on the street, and they were willing to participate. So they said, it doesn't mean that it's really going to happen, but that's hopeful, right? But then the other part of it, I told you about the long guy I met the other day. And I try to get back in his good grace because I could see how, and I don't know what got me out of grace. Maybe I was never in grace. I don't know what the real situation is there. But he seemed okay. He called me this morning. He probably called me because he saw me sitting in front of whatever I was sitting in front of, getting ready to go into work. I don't know if y'all can hear me, but yeah, so I thought I got back in his good grace. And basically, I'm just straightforward. I need my yard done, period. I don't want no extra problems or whatever because I already got issues. I need my yard done, right? And then I also want to talk to him about the thing this weekend. Like I said, I have there's a lot of lights over here. I have I haven't seen this many lights in the house behind me in a long time. I have I have the talent, I have the ideas, I need the help, you know. Um, and I'm not getting it. And basically, I need the help with kind of everything, because like I said, I don't have the ink or whatever. But I need to just go through my list and go down it. But I'm, and he's not, he didn't respond back to that question, but he's telling me to call. And so what I'm feeling is that people are not texting. They're having, woo, they're having these phone call things. I had this air conditioner on this whole time and I haven't been in here. They're having these phone call things so things can be twisted and turned around. So they're not. So, but then I'm anxious that they called. I'm excited about the fact they called, so I'm quick to call back, and they'll just run me in circles. So, when I asked all those people, this is what's interesting to me. When I asked all those people, because like I said, I had a list that I got up about, hey, what are your plans for this weekend, blah, blah, blah. You know, the people that were the main people that's directly attached to this pastor, did not answer. And then finally, what ended up happening, ironically, was that I ended up going on to what was supposed to be a Bible study, but I think I was just cut out of it, and they resumed somewhere else with it, right? But because the pastor mentioned last week, oh, don't park where you're not wanted, or something like that. You saw part of the sermon, so it got cut off. Like who holds a Zoom meeting for a 20-minute prayer and cut everything off? You know what I'm saying? It was just weird, and I think what he did was probably reissued another Zoom ID. You know what I'm saying? And had everybody else join that. But it's just, and then I said, well, let me go back in and see if that's what happened. So when I went back in, uh, this person that's the pastor's wife that I didn't realize that's who it was at first, she was on, and she was like, well, let me check with him and see. But what I didn't understand was why was she in that Zoom room by herself? It didn't make sense. So she calls him, he gets on the phone, and I asked him about that, and he was just like, so yeah, next the following Tuesday is only like a little 20-minute prayer, and then they're gonna stop doing Zoom meetings in October. So I think somebody probably at that place that I worked in, because I talked there about how I was gonna start only attending there by Zoom. And what's interesting is that initially the girl was telling me about all these different um, things that the pastor was involved in. He's she says that she works for. I didn't get a chance to ask the question. It's just confusion. I didn't get a chance to ask the question because, like I said, my phone is broke, so I thought she was somebody else. But basically, he said we have an event this weekend, and when he said we, of course, I'm talking to the church, so I'm assuming he's talking about the church, but that's not necessarily the case. Um, it, it didn't make sense for it to be about anything else. But then the Bible study girl called me and told me that when he said we, he was talking about his organization. But his organization is separate from the church. You know what I'm saying? So that didn't make sense. And he said we, and we're talking about church business. And he's talking about, and they're trying to tie together the South Georgia homeless thing together with that. And I'm like, I keep those two things separately, right? And so then on top of that, I see a missed call from somebody else. And that missed call is from somebody else that was supposed to be calling me. And so when I called the number back, I was assuming it was going to be that person, but it wasn't. It was the pastor's wife again. And then I was like, I thought this was such and such. And I was like, well, she was like, oh, such and such. She was like, yeah. And she was like, oh, that's my god niece or goddaughter or somebody. And she was in the background laughing, you know. So it's just, I don't know. So again, like I said this morning, I just have to be focused. I do need, someone that's gonna, deliver the stuff, to where I need to go. The one guy called back. He didn't call back yesterday, so I figured, the people that was with Drexel called him again, right? But I could think he decided he was gonna keep his commitment, so he called me back today. But I noticed that when I talked about how I needed to be transported, he kind of skirted around and said he's bringing all this other stuff. Um, so that's what it was. And then, like I said, I got the people that said they would perform, and that would be really cool. But if they perform, there's so many things I need, and maybe I should just post a random Craigslist ad. That's something I could look into, and just say, hey, small nonprofit trying to get off the ground. I have an event that I would like to do this weekend, and I need transportation. Of tables. Um, I need help with resources. I need someone that's going to print out the cards. I need someone that may be able to, put together little sanitation packets or whatever. I need somebody that's going to be able to transport the stuff. I need somebody that has loudspeakers, you know, whatever. It's crazy. So, I don't know. And I feel like I'm just being gaslit all the way around. But it doesn't matter if I am, if it doesn't matter if I'm not. The thing is that I have to focus on getting that done. And it's doable. It sounds impossible, but it's definitely doable. Um, but, I mean, it's something I really want to do. And it would be great because I'm thinking, like I said, I could have the talent show with the people from the street. And I got people and their different things that they do and stuff. But I don't feel like, I mean, I just need like one person in my corner that has means. And, when I look at it, I have the young man that lives up the street. He's more than happy to help, but I don't want to dump all of this on him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to dump it all on him. But I need somebody with a vehicle. I mean, he could probably get a vehicle, but I mean, I need somebody, that's able and willing to help. But I don't know. And that lawn guy, I don't think he is. Because like I said, when people care, you can see it's immediate. It's immediate. And when people start trying to, put everything, when they're avoiding putting it in writing, it's just like, it's almost like they're just playing with you. You know what I'm saying? Like that girl called because I think the pastor said something to her, right? And set the precedence for what he wanted the conversation to be like. Then I think this is a whole chat that they're having. I don't know what the deal is, but like I said, that may not be true at all. But the focus is that I need to, it's not looking so good. I mean, I still can do it, and the thing is that if I had those resources that I talked about, this could be better than this could be better than Drexel, hypothetically speaking, not necessarily, but better than as far as spiritually, because, oh, I overcame. I was able to get this done and put this out there. But I don't know, I feel a little stuck. I feel like I need to have, and this is hypocritical too. I feel like I need to have at least one person of means in my corner. And means, which is so sad to me, the lawn care person could be a person of needs in my book because that's how bad off it is. But I think what it is this is a season where God is making me have to ask for things, and see the results of getting it. Because that's the basis, I guess, of a nonprofit is to have to ask. Start with me, I have to ask. But I just feel so sick. Like, I don't know. I think I'm just going to go down my list, and that stuff is on my list anyhow. And, once I get my money good, then, I won't have to, hopefully, wouldn't have to ask or depend on anyone else. But hopefully, this is just a temporary part of my life where I'm asking because God wants me to make these connections, and that's it. But I guess I am a little bit uptight about it. Oh. But I just have to maintain perspective and focus. And like I said, I have a whole list. All I got to do is go down the list, check off stuff, and stop selling myself so short because then I even considered there's a guy that's homeless. Considered asking him, but he's already called me. When somebody's disrespected, you call Speedy or whatever. That person's not in your corner. That person might set it up where he said he's gonna do and really turn out and make you look real bad and real crazy. So intentionally. So I'm not gonna do that. But I don't know. I just have to pray on it. You know, I have to pray on it. But I guess I go because I mean I can't. Not enough words to express the feelings that I have. A little bit of a slight panic, like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? But the reality that, you know, shit, I just got a list. I gotta go down and check it off.